As I read the chapter 2, I did not realize that there are so many different cultures with the different communications, like feminism or masculine cultures, and the high power and the lower power distance. I did not realize that it would be such a big deal in different cultures. And as I listened to the video, the maximums that was going over, I have there's been times with communication that with me personally that has been a problem, like the quality and the quantity of it, but I did not realize that it was an actual maximum and the actual thing in communication. My major concept from the reading that I would like to shed light on is the maximum of quality, because I feel like that is a very important factor in communication, because without quality you are speaking of nonsense. You are not technically having communication, because if it is not the truth, then there's no point of even talking about it and no point of even the conversation happening. I feel like there was points of convergence in here, because as it was talking about quantity, you have to have convergence to have quantity. You have to be into the discussion to realize to add more information or the information that is needed, because if there wasn't convergence, then you would not be wanting to put the quantity into it. You would be drifting away from it, and that is where divergence came into this, because divergence can be in the maximum of relation, because with the maximum of relation, you can, if you're spreading away from the communication, the conversation, then that could be a problem with it, because it can twist away, because therefore you're not trying to stay into the relation of the conversation. You could be drifting off where you're not even paying attention. You don't know where the conversation is at, therefore you're saying nonsense. To fix this, you can try your best to stay in the conversation do your best to stay in the conversation. You can try to stay relevant and try to stay on what the topic is about in the conversation. I feel like that personally is a problem with me, because I have times where I will space out in the middle of a conversation and then not remember where I was at, and I will say stuff that's not in what we were talking about, and I'll be like, I'm so sorry, because I don't realize where we're at in the conversation, because I do have that issue where I do space out. One problem with me in communication that I would like to add on the maximum is facials, because I feel like there could be a facial one, because I feel like facials show a big part of communication. If someone's facial is just straight and that shows like they don't really care about the conversation. They're not very interested, and I feel like that's a big ordeal in communication if you're interested in the conversation, to keep a face like you are, don't keep a sour face, or keep it like you don't care.